In the United States of America, I am concerned by the new administration's handling of a number of human rights issues. Greater and more consistent leadership is needed to address the recent surge in discrimination, antisemitism, and violence against ethnic and religious minorities. My statement today will not detail the human rights situations in Afghanistan, Colombia, Cyprus, Guatemala, Guinea, Honduras, Libya, Sri Lanka, Syria, Ukraine, or Yemen, since the Council will receive specific briefings from my office during this session after half a century of Israeli occupation, with the degradation of another people which it brings. The accumulation of despair is widespread. Pervasive discrimination deprives Palestinians of their basic rights. Israel's blockade of Gaza, which amounts to collective punishment, continues to deprive people of access to even basic goods and services.
United Nations Watch have the floor.
Mr. President, we applaud the High Commissioner's recognition that rising anti-Semitism is a human rights issue worthy of the attention of world leaders and of the UN. While he spoke only about the U.S., we hope the High Commissioner's words mark a turning point in the approach of the UN and of his Human Rights Office. Because to date, Mr. President, in face of the most shocking anti-Semitic acts of our time, in face of the European reality where Jewish school children in nearby France require thousands of soldiers in full combat gear to protect their lives, what has been the response of the High Commissioner and his office? For the most part, the response has been silence. For example, on January 9, 2015, when a terrorist murdered 4 Jews in a kosher supermarket in Paris, the High Commissioner issued no statement. Worse, in his annual Holocaust Day statement later that month, he failed to say a word about this or any other anti-Semitic attack. He didn't even mention the word anti-Semitism. How can one honor the memory of Jews murdered by anti-Semitism 70 years ago while completely ignoring the wave of anti-Semitic attacks that have returned to this continent in cities such as Toulouse, Brussels, and Copenhagen? When dozens of UNRWA teachers praise Hitler and call to murder Jews, why is the High Commissioner silent, even by actions of his own UN colleagues? Finally, why did the High Commissioner say that his statement would ignore Afghanistan, Libya, Sri Lanka, Syria, Ukraine, and Yemen because they were otherwise being addressed? And yet, at length, he condemned Israel, even as Israel is being addressed in this session under 6 different reports under its own agenda item and for an entire day. Mr. President, where are the principles?